Most drivers believe car maintenance is all about oil changes and the occasional rinse. But under the hood, silent killers are already at work. Habits you don't think twice about are slowly destroying your engine, brakes, and electronics. Dealers won't warn you. Manuals won't say a word. Today, we expose the truth and the habits that separate smart drivers from stranded ones. Trick number 9. Follow the quarter tank rule. Are you one of those people who drives around with the fuel light on thinking, I'll just make it to the weekend? You're not alone. But constantly driving on empty is one of the worst habits for your car. It might feel like you're squeezing out every last drop, but what you're actually doing is putting your fuel system on a fast track to failure. The fix? Always try to keep your tank at least a quarter full. Just that simple habit can save you a ton of money in the long run. The thing is that your fuel pump sits inside the gas tank and it relies on gasoline to stay cool and lubricated. When you run low, it starts sucking in hot air instead of fuel. That heat dries it out and wears it down from the inside. I've seen pumps burn out before they even hit 80,000 miles, just because someone kept pushing their luck. And it gets worse. Driving on low fuel kicks up all the dirt and gunk that settles at the bottom of your tank. That mess clogs your filter and injectors, leading to rough idling, slow takeoffs, and even engine damage. So next time you think, I'll just fill up tomorrow, remember, your car's begging for gas, not because it's needy, but because it's trying to survive. Trick number 8. Don't idle, drive gently. After 30 seconds, I bet you also let your car sit idle in the morning, engine running, waiting for that blue light to disappear while you pick a song or finish your coffee. You think you're giving the engine time to warm up, but that's not warming. It's slow damage in disguise. What you should be doing instead is start the engine, wait 30 seconds, and then drive gently for the first 2 miles. That simple shift protects your engine far better than sitting still. Why? Because after half a minute of idling, unburned fuel begins slipping past the combustion chamber and washing down the cylinder walls. That fuel strips off the thin layer of protective oil, turning your expensive synthetic into watery sludge. I've opened engines ruined by this exact habit. Black fuel-soaked oil, scored cylinder walls, and fading compression. All because someone let it sit too long every day. Driving gets your oil to temperature 8 times faster than idling. It prevents fuel dilution, protects critical components, and even saves gas. So don't wait for the blue light to vanish. Just ease onto the road. That's when the real protection kicks in. Trick number 7. Drain and fill your transmission fluid. Most people don't think about their transmission until it starts slipping or jerking. But by then, the damage is already done, and you're staring down a repair bill that could hit $4,000 or more. But what if I told you that the solution to avoid that mess is super easy? Just drain and refill your transmission fluid every 60,000 miles or 6 years. If you drive a hybrid, you might stretch that to 90,000, but don't push it. The reason is simple. Transmission fluid doesn't get topped off like engine oil. It sits there, sealed up, breaking down bit by bit with every mile. Even if it still looks clean, cherry red, no burnt smell, it could be hiding a nasty mix of metal shavings and worn-out clutch material, like liquid sandpaper chewing through your gears. Wait for signs, and you're already too late. One important note: never completely flush a transmission that hasn't been regularly maintained. That sludge you're washing out? It might be the only thing keeping your transmission from falling apart. In that case, just drain and fill. And whatever you do, only use the fluid your car was built for. Toyota WS for Toyotas, Honda ATF W1 for Hondas, Mopar ATF +4 for Chryslers. Cutting corners here is how you end up needing a rebuild in the first place. Trick number 6. Stop after the pump clicks. Do you ever squeeze the pump one more time after it clicks, just to round off the number? It feels like you're getting a little extra, but you're actually flooding your car's emissions system with raw fuel. Here's what you should do instead. When the pump clicks, stop. No topping off. Just walk away. That extra squeeze pushes fuel into places it was never meant to go. I've replaced dozens of charcoal canisters soaked and ruined by this exact habit. And those aren't cheap. Expect a $350 to $900 bill just to fix what one more click caused. Your gas tank needs a bit of airspace to safely vent vapors into the evap system. When you overfill it, you're forcing liquid fuel into vapor lines, which ends up clogging valves, killing sensors, and choking the canister. I've even seen gas pour out of vent lines like a popped fuel balloon. So, if you want your car to last, respect the click. Every top-off eats away at your evap system's lifespan, and that's one repair you don't want to pay for. Trick number 5. Stick to the 3K oil rule. When you buy a car, the manufacturer hands you a maintenance schedule, and you trust it. After all, they built the thing. But here's the harsh truth. That schedule isn't made to help your engine last forever. It's made to get the car past the warranty. If you're following the 10,000 to 15,000 mile oil change interval they recommend, you're slowly killing your engine. The fix? Change your oil every 3,000 miles with regular oil, or every 5,000 to 7,000 miles if you're using full synthetic. It might seem like overkill, but $40 now beats a $4,000 rebuild later. I've opened up engines that stuck to the official service plan and found thick black sludge baked onto everything. Pistons cooked, cams scarred, oil passages clogged shut. That oil didn't just wear out, it turned against the engine. Especially in real-world driving, like short trips, stop-and-go traffic, cold starts, the oil starts breaking down long before the manual says it should. So if you're planning to keep your car past 100,000 miles, forget the factory schedule. Stick to what actually protects your engine. Trick number 4. Flush coolant regularly and check for leaks. You can take care of everything else, the oil changes, the filters, the brakes, but if your engine overheats even once, it might not survive. Modern engines run hot, and aluminum heads? They start to warp at just 230 degrees Fahrenheit. That means one red needle, one ignored warning light, and you're looking at a $3,800 repair. So here's what you should do. Flush your coolant every 3 to 5 years based on type. Check the level monthly, and never ever mix coolant colors. Red, green, yellow, clear. They're not interchangeable. Use exactly what your manufacturer recommends. The wrong mix can corrode your system, eat through gaskets, and turn your radiator into a chemical mess. And if your temperature gauge ever hits red, pull over. Turn the engine off. Don't try to nurse it home. Call a flatbed. Hoping for the best won't fix a warped head, but flushing alone won't save you if the coolant is quietly disappearing. If you're topping it off every week, you don't have a maintenance routine. You have a leak. Coolant doesn't just vanish. It's escaping somewhere. Maybe through a cracked radiator, maybe a soft hose. Could be the water pump on its last leg. And sometimes it's completely hidden, like a heater core leaking under your carpet or a tiny head gasket leak blowing steam out your exhaust. And no, you won't always see it. Some leaks only show when the engine's hot or under pressure. That's why you pressure test the system. Cold engine, pump it to spec, and watch for pressure loss. That's how you catch the silent killer before it leaves you stranded. Trick number 3. Catch weird sounds early. A soft tick at the red light. A clunk when pulling into a driveway. A faint squeal on cold mornings. These sounds might be easy to ignore, and most people do. But those noises are not background sounds. They are warnings. Every strange noise is your car asking for help before something breaks completely. It's hard to understand how some people hear those noises and still keep driving like nothing's wrong. A simple $40 belt squeal can turn into a $1,200 alternator replacement. A soft clunk? That was a bad CV joint that eventually snapped and took the axle with it. One customer ignored a ticking noise for months, and it was low oil starving the lifters. He learned the hard way with a full engine teardown. So, what should you do? Simple. Track the sound. Where does it happen? When? Is the engine cold or hot? Do you hear it while turning, speeding up, or going over bumps? Then, get it checked. Early fixes are cheap. Ignored ones will wreck your ride because every weird sound coming from your car is actually your car trying to tell you something. Trick number 2. Scrub battery terminals regularly. Ever had your car refuse to start even when everything seemed fine the day before? Chances are your battery terminals are covered in corrosion, quietly killing power without warning. That white crust? It's not harmless. It suffocates the starter, overworks the alternator, and puts your electronics on life support. I've seen cars towed in with dead batteries that just needed a $5 wire brush and 10 minutes of cleaning. In some cases, drivers have come close to paying $900 for a new starter, only to discover that heavy corrosion around the terminals was the real culprit. The fix is simple. Every 3 to 4 months, pop the hood and check the battery. If there's visible fuzz or buildup, clean it with a mix of baking soda and water or a dedicated terminal cleaner. Then, apply dielectric grease or terminal protector spray to prevent it from coming back. And yes, even brand new vehicles can develop corrosion. It's caused by chemical reactions between the battery's gases, metal, and moisture, not vehicle age or mileage. Also, don't yank off your battery cables without checking for radio codes or memory settings. Some cars really hate being unplugged. And finally, we have one last habit, rarely mentioned, often ignored, but it's quietly saved more engines than most repairs ever will. Trick number 1, always engage the e-brake. If you think your car is safe in park, it's not. That gear isn't a brake, it's a backup, and relying on it alone is a fast way to destroy your transmission. Every time a car is left on an incline without the e-brake, it forces a tiny metal piece called the parking powell to hold the full weight of the vehicle. That's thousands of pounds resting on something the size of a pinky finger. When it snaps, the car can roll. And the repair? A $2,800 transmission teardown just to keep it from happening again. This applies to every car, whether it's brand new or 20 years old. So, set the parking brake first, then shift into park. Not the other way around. And it's not just for hills, do it on flat roads, in driveways, everywhere. It's called a parking brake for a reason. Skip this step and you might not notice anything until the day your transmission fails in a quiet parking lot. And there you have it. 9 habits of people who actually care about their cars and their wallets. Not just the kind of care you show with a wash and a wax, but the kind that keeps your engine running, your wallet intact, and your car on the road for years longer than most. Which one of these habits are you already doing, and which one are you fixing from today? Tell us in the comments. And if this helped you spot even one mistake.
So, we've just covered 9 small habits that can make or break your car's lifespan. But let's be real. There are still plenty of other habits we haven't touched on in this video. Things like brake system care, injector cleaning, or changing spark plugs on time. Small steps that have a big impact on safety and durability. What do you think? Is there a habit we missed that you believe is essential for keeping a car alive? Or maybe in these 9 habits, you noticed something that doesn't quite match your own experience. Drop your thoughts, your questions, or even a story you've been through in the comments. Every idea you share could save another driver from an expensive mistake. If you want more tips, more garage secrets that mechanics usually won't tell you, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell. In the next video, I'll reveal the simple mistakes that wreck cars just because owners ignore them. And trust me, you won't want to miss it. Let's keep driving smarter, safer, and cheaper together.